Okay, welcome back, guys. So, carrying on from what we left off, I'm going to start adding a more uniform or generalized skin pore detail on the entire body, apart from the hand, some part of the hand and the entire arm, some part of the head. But for the other parts of the body, I'm going to use like a generalized, uniform, tileable skin pore around this, just like you have on the reference image on the left hand side. So I have some few ideas in mind. I hope this works. So I'm still going to use the HD geometry feature for this, but let me just create a new layer. Click on just here a new layer. Then name this. Let me name this to body skin pores. Enter. Okay, so I still want to use the HD geometry feature for this. So let me just show you guys now. I'll put my mouse cursor around here. Let me take this out of the way. So I'll put my mouse cursor around here and I'll hit A on the keyboard. And I'll give this a moment to load. So just in case you guys didn't see what I did in the previous video, so this is another good time to kind of show you guys exactly what I did. So after that is done, this is what I have. I'm making sure your solo mode is turned on. Just make sure solo mode is turned on. Very important. So this is like the active circular region now that has more subdivision to work with while on the HD geometry mode. So let's see. Let me max out some part of the neck because I don't want the skin pore to be affecting this part of the neck. So let me look for a good angle to kind of max this out. Because I'm going to be using the surface noise for this. So the surface noise, I want to kind of max out region where I don't want this to be affected because it works with your maxing. It works with the maxing. So let me do this properly. Yeah, look for a good angle for this. And I'll max this out. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let me do the same for the hand. So I'm on symmetry mode. You can see how the hand is cut off in this part because based on the circular, the radial maxing mode that is done, that part of the hand is kind of cut off. But no worries, once we go out of the active mode, once we deactivate the AG geometry mode, that should bring everything back. So let me just max out. I want to max out this hand. Look for a good angle for this. Okay. I don't know if this should be fine. So I'm going to blow out the max. Let me blow this out. Just control click on the max a few times. Just to blow out the max. Okay. That part feels red. Let me control alt then kind of erase that maxing. Let's see. So now I think we can go to surface. So using the surface noise. So let's fire up the noise maker on this. So I'm going to be using a tile label map for this. I'll be using a tile label map. So let me go and look for the tile label map. So it should be on flip skin tile label. But let me just show you guys the map we're going to be using. It's going to be this pause 2. Is this Skinpores too? That's exactly what we're going to be using. So let me just go back in there again. So noise, okay. So it should be, let me look for a Skinpores 2, pause O2. So open. So now let's use the reference image for this by the side to kind of make some adjustment for this to get this to work properly on the model. So let me put this on max. Let me get a closer view on this so you can actually see what's going on. Now begin to manipulate the alpha scale and the strength. The alpha scale and the strength are like the two major things we're going to adjust now. So like two major things. So for right now, when you plug this in, the scale is just way too wide. So taking down the scale will kind of bring this back. But we still also need to have some strength in there. Let me take down the strength just to kind of see something going on there. Oh, there's an issue now. It's only on 3D mapping. I can't find UV mapping on this. And this particular our base map it already has UVs on top of this, so I'm supposed to be seeing the UVs on top of this. I don't know, I'm not seeing the UVs on top of this. I'm probably guessing it's because we're on HD. No, that's way too intense. Let me take this down so you can actually see it. So you can see now. Actually seeing something in there now. So now what we have to do is kind of increase the strength. So I'm not supposed to work in on this with this 3D mapping because it kind of stretch out the textures on the side. But just to show you guys, let me just zoom in properly. See how the skin texture is now on the model. It's quite styleable, which is really nice. It's really nice for what we're it's really nice for what we are doing in here. But I still have my doubts about this three working in 3D mode. Working with the 3D mapping. Let's just keep working on this actually. Let's just keep making adjustments. Let us hope I'm wrong. Because if I'm not wrong, then we'll have to look for an alternative to do this without working with the HD geometry mode. It would be like sad for me because I love how the HD geometry gives me so much polygon resolution on top of this for me to work with and kind of derive high fidelity details. But like I said initially in previous lessons, if your PC can handle it, you can just crank up the subdivision level even higher to around maybe 60 million polygons, and that should be fine for anything skin or detail you want to do on top of the model. But I don't want to do that because if I do that, that will kind of weigh too much on my PC RAM because I'm not using a very high. I don't have lots of memory RAM for this. I'm just using like a 16 gig RAM for this. So I'm just trying to optimize so I can easily work with ZBrush. But if your PC can handle it, why not just crank it up? That's completely fine. But for me, I can't do that, so I'm always looking for ways to optimize. So this is what I was explaining initially. Stretching. So with the 3D mode, now I have some stretching on the sides, which is exactly not what I want. So we're going to be exiting this AD geometry mode. It's not working for us. Okay, no, let me not say us. I'm sure you guys have high-tech PCs, so it's not working for me. Let me personalize this because this is just me right now. So I don't think there's anything I can do here. So because I can't change this to UV, it's supposed to be on UVs instead of 3D mode. It ought to be on UVs. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be exiting the geometry mode because it does not give me the privilege to kind of work with the UV mapping on top of this. I don't want stretching. I do not want stretching. That's like terrible. That's a really terrible way to work, having stretching on your models. So let me just go out of Let me just go out of basic geometry. You can either click that like I did, or you can just hit A on the keyboard. So either of that should work. So now we are officially out of the, let me mark this. We are officially out of AD geometry mode. So now let's do this the normal way without having to cheat our way around this. Well, I won't call it cheating actually because the tools are there for us to use. So it's not actually cheating if the tools are actually there open for us to use. So let's see. I need to max out. I need to max out where I don't want this tileable skin pores to be affecting. I need to max that region out. So I'm going to be maxing out around the face, somewhere around here. I will also include the ear. Include the ear. So somewhere around here should be fine. Okay. And for the arm also, yeah, then I can just blur this out. Let's see. So I'm having that bumpiness on this other part of the arm. Maybe I might leave that one there to make it feel like maybe some kind of scar or swollen injury around that region. Probably. I'm just gonna do proper marking around here. Let's see what we have. Yeah, this should be fine. So next is to kind of blur this out. So hold control down and just click a few more times on the model, on the max region, just to blur out the edges of that max. So have a kind of smoother transition around them. Okay. Yeah, I think this is fine. This is fine. It is fine. This should work just fine. So now I can just use the UV mapping mode now and just plug in that same tileable texture map from Flip Normals. Okay. Oh yeah, give this. No, let me put this on mine to mark this out. I'm kind of adding that edge seam line on this. So let me just click on max. That should eliminate that. So you have this redness in here now. So but that's fine. Let's fix that now. So just take down the alpha and then crank up the strength for this. Let me just find a good value for this. Let me find a good value for this. Let me look for a value that actually works. So it's basically just try and error right now, just to find something that works. Okay, let me look for a good value for this. Just checking this just to be sure. Okay. Yes, I like the way the details are for the belly. Though most of the details are still going to be washed out because I don't have enough geometry to hold this, but that's completely fine. That's completely fine. You can always intensify the details on top of this in Substance Painter later on with some inbuilt Substance Painter skin skin pore details. You always use around this. The previous way I prefer to do this was to just apply this to mesh, but I'm going to be using a slightly different approach for this. I'm just checking this, okay? So I'm going to use max by noise. So after using max by noise, I'm now going to do a negative inflate for this, negative value inflate for this. So now this has maxed this out by noise. So the next thing I need to do now is to kind of, let's see. The next thing I want to do is kind of inflate, do a negative inflate for this. But negative inflate is still going to be working on this max also. So I want to kind of remove the max, kind of remove that completely. Or I'm still going to clean most of this out. It looks rough now, but I'm going to clean most of them out later on. So what you want to do here, my advice, add more subdivision level to the model if your PC can handle it. So I'm going to use the negative value for the inflate. Give the negative value for this. Nope, that's way too much. That's way too much. I'm going to try different value. I'm going to try maybe probably, let me start by trying different value. Let me just click on this and try value of -4. Enter. Let's see what we have. Yeesh, that's way too intense. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's way too intense. So maybe somewhere around -2, -1 should be fine. Let's try something -1. Do not forget, guys, this is on a different level. This is on a different layer, so which is fine. You can always dial this back down with the layer. Okay. Yeah, this looks fine. I also need to fix some of these though, but for now, this looks actually fine. Just get a closer view on this. Yeah, this is quite fine. Still some cleaning up to do later on, but that's completely fine. I'm sure you guys have to kind of clean this up some more, especially for the arm and for the head part. So because I want to take the head separately, I want to take the head and the arm separately using slightly different alpha for that. Using slightly different alpha for that. Okay. So let me just start cleaning things up a bit around the arm. It feels too angled. I can easily go in there and just look for the same alpha and use my drag rec and begin to drag out the alpha. You can obviously do that, that's completely fine if you want to. But let me just use a slightly different approach for this. I won't think the approach I'm going to use for is even a longer method. The longer way of doing things. So I would just advise you guys, the shorter way to do this is just to pick the alpha, use drag rec, mid value, modify the alpha, use mid value of 40 to 50, radial free 1 to 10, and then just begin to drag out the alpha in there until you get something cool enough. Because what I did right now is a longer method, but it still works. Actually, it still works, but it does not give you as a good enough, a cleaner result like I thought it would. But that's absolutely fine, because even when you add your texture details on top of this, some of all this imperfection kind of gets hidden, so it's not going to be too obvious to see. But it's always good practice to kind of make things as neat and keep the flow as much as possible, just to have things feeling though even, but still breaking up, but still having that imperfect feeling around it, because your alpha map you're using to kind of create bumpiness on the surface or skin pores on the surface is not perfect. So creating a flow, but still breaking up that flow with impact with some with still breaking up that flow with alpha that are imperfect. So I'm basically using freehand now to kind of mark this out manually. Like I said before, this is a longer way of doing things. A faster way should have just been just to drag out the alpha, carefully drag out the alpha around this region. But I think it depends actually. I think it depends actually. But if you start dragging out alpha on top of this, you have to be really careful. You want to match the alpha size with the one you already have laid out already on the entire body. So that might take you some time to also kind of drag this slowly, kind of trying to match the alpha size, the sizing for it, just to keep that consistency around it. So I think if I should correct myself right now, let me correct myself right now. I think this particular method I use is actually a faster way of doing things. To kind of get things to feel more even quickly. Yes, I stand corrected. So let me kind of just kind of mark this out, just to catch this where the transition kind of got cut off. Maybe added the Skinpores previously. Okay, so I'm sure there are faster ways of doing this. So as you can see, I immediately added the noise effect. It's already affecting it already. So I'm still going to use the same max bar noise. Max bar noise. Then I'm going to start maxing out, moving the max on the other parts that I don't want to be affected. No, undo that. So let me use the lasso. Let me use the max lasso for this. So I'm going to start maxing things out. Holding alt. Holding alt and start maxing things out. No. I'm supposed to hold alt for this. I keep forgetting to hold alt. So I'm not doing anything too complicated in here right now. So basically just maxing things out. Just maxing things out in regions where I don't want them to be affected. Okay, like so. It's still not going to look perfect though, but we're still going to clean things up as we go. So I'm going to be using the same effect, the same value for the inflate. So negative or -1 should be fine. Okay. So next we're going to be doing this kind of cleaning things up here and there. So in the next lesson we're actually going to be working more on the hand, on the details for the hand. Working on more of the details for the hand. Just to make this kind of even out. So I'm kind of smoothing things back down just to even things out a bit more. Just smoothing things back down to make things even out, just to even things out. And since we have this on a different layer, we can always dial down the intensity for this if we want to. That's one of the benefits of putting things in layers. So you have more control, more creative control over them based on visibility or intensity. Okay, almost there. I don't really need to lose this part safe. It's not completely necessary. It's something you can easily fix by yourself. I'm sure you guys are not beginners in Zbrush. Even though you're a beginner in Zbrush, based on the way you have been watching me go around this model and then fixing things up, it shouldn't be too much of an issue to kind of fix any issue you are having in here. Like a particular like an issue like this particular one I have in here, whereby it's just kind of affecting this in the wrong way. As you can see, we have details for the back, so I'll just smooth this back down. I'll smooth all of this. So that's way too intense. Let me take this down. So this is a more lighter brush side, just to have this blend back in. And I am going to dial this down. I'm going to dial this down. Or you can also have this exported out on a separate normal map. Just to have this on a separate normal map. So you can easily use them in external software. It's going to have different layer of detail on top of your model. So yeah, I think we're in a good spot here. We're in a good spot now. We're actually in a good spot, yes. It's a good spot. A much easier way to kind of break up the surface of this entire model is just kind of adding veins around it and then adding some more fleshiness and fat parts around some various regions, adding some kind of wrinkle around some various regions also to make this feel be a bit more asymmetrical. So that's fine. So I'll see you guys in the next lesson.